Are you the target of an internet attack, online defamation, or harassment, and are considering reaching out to an internet attorney to help resolve your issue? At Minc Law, we're a law firm that focuses specifically on internet defamation, online harassment, and digital privacy, so we know the most pressing questions that clients have when it comes to engaging an internet attorney. We've compiled a list of the most frequently asked questions that we receive so that you can make an informed decision before hiring an internet attorney. Trust me, you'll sleep better at night once that embarrassing and defamatory content is gone from the internet. Hi, I'm Dara Lumba, a paralegal at Minc Law, the nation's leading law firm when it comes to dealing with online defamation and harassment. If you like this video and want to learn more about protecting your online reputation, hit the subscribe button below and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Defamation law isn't something that most people are well versed in. The lines between opinion and defamation can get blurred and make your head spin. So when potential clients call our office, they're usually overwhelmed and don't know where to start when asking questions. In this video, I'm going to answer the top 6 questions that we are asked here at Minc Law so that you can go into a consultation feeling confident in our ability to handle your matter. We'll go over what defamation actually is, whether defamation attorneys are civil or criminal professionals, how an attorney can assist you if you are out of state, how we locate anonymous users, and the costs that come with resolving a defamation matter. And we're starting right now. What is defamation? In simple terms, defamation is the umbrella term that refers to the act of damaging the reputation of another person through false statements. It can be broken down into 2 categories: slander, which is defamation in spoken form, and libel, which is defamation in a legible, tangible form. The easiest way to remember the difference is that slander is spoken. When I think of libel, I think of the word library. What does a library do? It houses things that you can read. For defamation to occur, there have to be 4 key elements involved. There has to be a false statement purporting to be fact. There must be publication or communication of that statement to a third party. There must be fault amounting to at least negligence. And there must be damages or some harm caused to the person or entity who is the subject of the statement. Let's use a restaurant review on Google as an example. A defamatory post would be if I wrote a review falsely stating that the restaurant had rats running all over the floors, the staff was tampering with my food, or that the establishment was not following COVID-19 guidelines when they were. Something that would not be considered defamation would be if I said that the food and service at the restaurant were not enjoyable. Are defamation attorneys criminal or civil attorneys? Defamation is usually a civil offense, not a criminal one. So the vast majority of defamation attorneys are going to practice civil law. Civil attorneys are litigators, not prosecutors, so therefore they cannot charge anyone with a crime. Currently, there are only about a dozen or so states in America that have criminal libel laws, but they're rarely enforced. If your state allows this, please contact your local authorities for more information. Can an attorney in another state represent me? It is possible to be represented by an attorney licensed in another state. Some forms of representation, like mediation, arbitration, and situations that don't require a court appearance can be provided across state lines. However, if you're considering a lawsuit, then there are procedures that need to be followed that enable attorneys to represent clients out of state. Each state regulates their own practice of law. Generally, only attorneys licensed in a particular state can practice law there. The unauthorized practice of law is a serious violation and applies to non-lawyers acting as lawyers, as well as attorneys that try to practice in states where they are not licensed. Out-of-state lawyers can be allowed to represent clients in another state when they work alongside a local attorney through a process called a pro hac vice admission. This process allows an attorney to appear in a jurisdiction to represent a client for the limited purpose of one lawsuit. How do you identify and locate anonymous online perpetrators? The first step to identifying anonymous posters is always to file a John Doe or Jane Doe lawsuit in a court of law. This enables you to get the ball rolling while your attorney starts working on the discovery portion of your matter. The next step would be to issue subpoenas to the websites or platforms where the defamation occurred for initial identifying information, such as IP data. Depending on your state, you may be required to get an order from your judge in order to issue these subpoenas, as is the case if you're filing in Pennsylvania or California. Once you have obtained IP information for the users involved, you can find out who their internet service provider is from there. You may run into a small hiccup, though, if your data is associated with a VPN or public Wi-Fi, making it more difficult to move forward. If you're able to link an IP address to an internet service provider, you will need to obtain an order from your judge in order to subpoena those entities for subscriber information. Many times, the information that is received from these internet service providers would be your smoking gun to identify the culprit. But if not, you will need to take additional steps to identify your defendant. What are the potential costs to resolve my defamation matter? As simple as the question of cost may sound, providing accurate price and cost estimates for legal services is not an easy task. The answer in every case is that it depends on many different factors. Those factors can include whether or not your matter can be resolved with arbitration and non-litigation methods, or if you will need to file a lawsuit, if a defendant's identity is unknown or not, the amount of defamatory content online, and whether or not a local counsel is required. Our guaranteed removal services can start at $1,500 and can cost upwards of $2,500 per site. Content like news articles, blogs, and adult content generally fall under our hourly non-litigation services, where a minimum retainer of $3,500 to $5,000 is required. If you're wanting to sue someone else for defamation, you'll be looking at a minimum retainer of $7,500. However, the average cost for defamation cases is between $15,000 and $20,000 at the end of the day. How can I get started with Minc Law? For your convenience, there are 3 ways that you can contact Minc Law to get started on protecting your online presence and breaking free from online defamation and harassment. You can either call our office to speak with one of our experienced paralegals, like myself, speak with a Minc Law chat representative on our website, or you can fill out a form on our website's contact page. A paralegal from our firm will be in touch within 1 business day or sooner to discuss the details of your case and set up a free attorney consultation if it appears that you are a good fit for our firm's services. Did you have a question I didn't answer? Or do you want some more clarification on a certain subject? If so, leave a comment below, and someone from our firm will respond. I've also included some helpful links from our own legal resource center in the description box below that would further elaborate on what I mentioned in this video. So that's it. Those are the top 6 questions that we are asked here at Minc Law. We went over what defines defamation, whether or not defamation attorneys can press charges, how an attorney can represent someone in another state, how to locate anonymous defamers, a ballpark cost for legal services, and how you can get your matter started at Minc Law. This is Dara Lumba at Minc Law, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!